And maybe if my tablet is working through the new format, maybe you did too. We'll see. Okay. I've not tried this before, so I'm not going to swear that the audio is going to be that grand. I just decided to grab, okay, what am I looking at here? 55, 50, whatever you are. Okay. If this doesn't work so well with the audio, you know, it's an experiment. Life is all an experiment. So, do I need to move this up closer to my mouth? We'll see. Okay. Anyway, testing. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Sorry, the geek had to try something new on a production day. Anyway, okay. Distractions galore. All right. So, welcome to episode 206 of Sunday Spirit Talks. I'm William B. Isley, the psychic spiritualist, and today I want to talk about a couple of really cool realizations I had this week while I was doing some energy work on myself and others, because that's what I do. The first one is a realization of why the prep work and some of the other stuff that I was doing for the Galactic Awakening channel, I understand now why that fell by the wayside. I was looking into or having a conversation with Franya, and it occurred to me that the terror and panic of building a community / being in a community. And I am talking about tornado is knocking on the front door, asking to be let in, terror and panic. That level, that's mostly past life, as in decades, centuries, millennia of being involved in community and either getting killed for it or ostracized for it or what have you. So that's a thing that I will add into my energy work this week and moving forward, because from what I understand, what I'm being told by multiple people and multiple people without bodies in my entourage is that you need to hear what I have to say on a grander scale versus just the little bits and pieces that I'm sharing once a week. And that terrifies me, because the other past life thing is where I stepped up and showed who I was and so forth and got killed for it. So, lots of different things running in the background. I thought that was a really cool realization that this is something I can begin working on. And, oh, what else? I don't remember if I've mentioned it before. The dichotomy for me of subconscious and unconscious, and that each one has a different purpose. For me, unconscious is full of things that we don't want to remember, that we don't want to know, as well as it's a force to be reckoned with. So it always bugged me when people would say subconscious and unconscious as being the same thing. And I understand now why, for me, they're not. For me, the subconscious is this interface layer in between consciousness and unconsciousness. And it's got myriads of programs and we pulled in from others, which are programs, so forth and so on. This week, I realized or noticed an oily, gooey, black, nasty substance that was that in a specific portion of, if you think of it as a what is that word? A tank, if you will, of whatever. So then over here in one spot, I'm seeing this uh, puddle of this stuff. And it was around guilt and shame, and it's not mine. And it was one of those things where um, it came up that it was from my parents. And based on what my brother and I discovered when we were going through the house after they had passed over, that explains a lot because most of the life that they had put together was based on shame and guilt and lies of omission for what their past was and dad's past and some of those things. I think I mentioned it before, but it's when he was in Korea during, or not in Korea, when he was in Germany during the Korean War. Apparently, he had gotten married and potentially had a daughter. I might have a half sister running around in Germany somewhere that we don't even know about, kind of thing. And so then there's all that shame and guilt for this is not how a good Christian is supposed to act or whatever it is. And so I absorbed that stuff because I'm a sponge. It's just interesting how and how all of that came about, and because I had felt things as a child. You know, we're open, we notice stuff, and we realize things, and then if we're enterprising, we might ask for verification of whether we truly are correct, whether we're crazy or not. And what what's interesting is this particular puddle of goo um, that goes into the concept of the tarpolians that I've been removing from people and myself. And so then, as I make the journey from consciousness through the subconscious and into the unconscious, that for specific topics, mind you, because there's other puddles of goo laying around on based on different topics. But it's like as we move into unconscious, I get coded again. And then I do whatever, coded in shame and guilt and what have you. And then I get done with whatever I'm doing and I come back out. And it's the first thing I experience coming to consciousness. How messed up is that? How am I going to be any kind of effective doing any kind of work with this going on, this recoding of myself, reinforcing the tarpolian of shame and guilt and whatever it morphs into, that kind of thing. So that has been a very helpful realization of these things going on and gathering that pool up and transmuting it, putting that energy back in the system has made a bit of a difference this week. I'll be interested to see how much more of a difference it makes. And as I continue doing work and clearing or transforming more of those, I'm really excited to what's going to happen with that. Filler word that means nothing. Yay. Is there anything else? You know, it would make sense to make notes on some of this as I go through the week. I have a document program on my phone that I use a lot. I could start making notes about what I want to discuss during the week. That might be helpful. I don't know. Anyway, there were some other realizations and some other things that I did or experienced this week. Oh, that's an interesting one. Somebody that I talk to on a infrequent basis, probably needs to be more frequent. You know how last week before, I talked about the being the chameleon and then being a life coach and still being a chameleon, giving the power away. She was nice enough to point out that I'm not technically a life coach, and I know that. The life coach is an easy label for people to get. And it's one of those being more out in the galaxy and beyond. I'm more a coach slash guide for those folks that are transplanted and or volunteered to come here to work on this particular project and helping them wake up, clearing out their energetic crap, those kinds of things. And so it's a matter of moving into that realm and talking more about some of those realizations as well. So that was an interesting piece because stepping up, talking about who I am and what I am, has gotten me killed in past lives. Like I'm going to be stupid enough to do that here. Even though I'm 52 and those kinds of things aren't necessarily as easy to do in this day and age. It happens. I mean, things happen. People disappear all the time, even here in America. So anyway, that was just an interesting realization of, okay, it's time to step out and be here for you and be of service. Oh, yeah. Here's another one. I realized as I was rewatching a replay of someone that I had done surgery work for that when I did this energy work for that person, as I was rewatching the replay, I felt the energy work too. So I will be making that into some future episodes and doing some energy work, generic energy work for you, and let me know what you notice, what you feel. You're watching my shows, therefore you are going to be intuitive enough and in tune with your body enough to notice these things. I have is that it? Yes. Okay. Well then, change you want to see in the world and be the light you want to see in the world. I will see you next time. Bye.